Hey there, it's Martha, and if you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. This is my monthly update video, and yeah, it's just where I kind of recap a little bit about how my November has been, maybe what I'm looking forward to, what I already know is happening in December, just because, in my mind, I already have certain things planned out. But if you are interested in just kind of hanging out with me and hearing how my life has been and what I'm up to and what I'm planning, then stick around. Let's get into my numbers really quick. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. Just want to share that in November, I ended up using 38. So it's pretty good considering I missed the first, 10 days of November, and I was warming a little less. And then I was at work for like 1 week. I was pretty much at work for 4 days out of that week. So, I think they're probably smaller pieces that I was warming, but 14 came in. So I did a super tarts. I did the Wax Wednesday. I've been waiting to buy super tarts for years, years. And I am finally in a place where I feel I've been making really good progress. I have this new strategy that I've been talking about in the month of November of buying just small little things. So I bought six things from Super Tarts just to try it, because I've only tried a few blends that friends have given me, like maybe 2 or 3 blends, but I've never tried Jaws. And I've hearing about Jaws for years and years, and I'm like, I'm gonna try Jaws and see what the hype is about. And so that was part of the 14. And then I did do a very small RTS of Teddy Bees. I placed, I think, five pieces are coming from Teddy Bees. Wasn't planned. I was actually late to the RTS. I didn't even think about it till 40 minutes. It had been 40 minutes since the RTS had opened, but I was not planning on it. And the only reason I went in was because Chris, my friend Chris here on YouTube, she loves Milk of the Poppy, and she's been talking about Milk of the Poppy. And I'm like, I've never smelled it. So that was really the reason to go in. And then I just bought maybe, I think, 4 other scents, wanting to keep it small, but also it'll work with my strategy of, like, when it comes in, I want to warm it right away. I want to warm this stuff fairly soon, and I'm excited about that. And I'll get into that a little bit more later. But yeah, so every month this year, I have been using more than I've been bringing in, and that makes me super, super happy. Let's see what else. Yeah, my starting number is 770. I am at 508. So I'm at a really good place. I think my happy spot will now be like 150. When I did a video on this, on my new strategy, what ChatGPT told me, I think, calculated if I have about 150 pieces, that is stuff that will be like fresh, and I can rotate it all within a season, since I am pretty much a seasonal melter. So anyway, that's that. I'm not going to get too much into it. So yeah, I bought some stuff in November, and I think the balance of the 14, because I said six was Super Tarts, 5 was Teddy Bees, and then the balance was a few Scentsy bars that came in. So that's great. I did a pretty good job of, clearing out some vendors here just automatically throughout the year. And that's really all I wanted to touch on. As far as my wax numbers, I'll get a little bit more into strategy and thinking in a second. But the other thing I was doing in November, because I love trackers and things, that I felt like this spreadsheet here, which you haven't seen probably in a while, it's a lot. Well, I have a bunch of rows hidden here, or columns hidden. So I just have December showing, but it's like from January to December. Many of you have downloaded a version of this spreadsheet, and it's been great. But I felt like I wanted something a little simpler. I think it's simpler. We'll see for me in 2026 without all these columns and all of this calculations in each column and all of that stuff. And I wanted a way to be able, since I feel like I'm going to be purchasing smaller orders, to be able to have a place where I can see what I'm purchasing and when it's coming in, because that's going to be very important for me. but not throw it right into my inventory right away because, well, there's two things. Let me get into the why I want to know when it's coming. What I don't want is to go back to my issue in 2023 where I was doing a pre-order here and a pre-order there and there everywhere. And then like 1 month, 1 week, it's like all of a sudden 5 pre-orders are rolling in and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then you went from what I felt would be something that I could melt fairly reasonably, like within, a month or two, to now I just have more wax coming in at one time, which is more that I can melt in that current period of time. So, but if I put it in my inventory like I have been right away, let's just say I buy Candle Nurse. Let's just say I buy 9 cents from Candle Nurse. And if I put it in my spreadsheet right away, and let's just say this is a pre-order and I'm not getting it for 5 weeks or 6 weeks, I can't melt it because I don't have it, right? So I wanted a way to really show what I actually have and be able to make sure that I'm very aware of when things are coming in. So I don't partake in pre-orders where everything is coming the same month. Hopefully that made sense because that was really important to me. So I worked very long and hard to do that. So I did come up with a new spreadsheet for 2026, and that is what this one is. So because Super Tarts I bought in 2025 and will come in 2026 was a little weird, but this is what I purchased from Super Tarts. And then in the future, when it's all in the same year, I can put in here what I bought and I can see what the expected arrival date, because I really want to, after this is perfect. I want to keep a small amount of what's coming in, and I don't want any more pre-orders or RTSs that are going to hit in January. So that's just how I will continue to bring my numbers down every month, but also just balance the months out so it's not all coming at the same time. And then I have this one, which is transactions. So, I will use this when something actually came in. So when my pre-order actually comes in, it'll be logged in here. When it goes out, it'll be logged out of here. And then I have here, if I got it in friend mail, I could even put the source of how I got it. And so this will be like a ledger that will calculate my monthly melts, my yearly totals, my net, all the stuff in my dashboard will pretty much come from this very simple looking spreadsheet. And then it'll feed into this. So this will automatically populate from the transactions. And I could see what my net changes and all of that. This is all nerdy stuff that I love to do. And then my melt log, which I'm also excited about, this will auto-populate as well. But this will help me when I'm doing my empties videos. I can tell you what room I melted that in, what the throw was, did I enjoy it, would I repurchase it? And so it's more tabs, but it's not like this long spreadsheet with a bunch of calculations that can break at any time. I think it's a little simpler. I'm super, super happy at my nerdy self. So yeah, I have not been getting enough sleep because I've been going to bed late doing this kind of stuff. Okay, so let me get into the rest of what November has been like. Okay, so that was my little spreadsheet, my new spreadsheet. I'm going to try and test it out. But I was going to say November. December is a super, super busy month. Personally and work-wise, it's a very busy month. It's when everyone wants to get all the stuff done before the end of the year. And then we have Christmas and we have birthdays and all of that stuff. So, yeah, I don't think I have a weekend where I could just do this stuff. But I will see if I can test my new spreadsheet, and if it works, I'll make a video on kind of the new spreadsheet, and those that want to start doing that didn't watch the one I made last year in 2024. I have a video on the current spreadsheet I'm using. You can have that way. I'm a huge advocate for, it doesn't have to be spreadsheets, but tracking, whether it's on paper or just, and the purpose of tracking is to understand and get data. I have this analytical part of my brain that I enjoy making those spreadsheets and automating things. And that's the learning part of my brain too, because I didn't know how to do this when I first did a spreadsheet. It was very simple. I just kind of did some basic stuff. And then over time, I've gotten better. Now I'm automating things. I'm like, oh, who am I? But it's fun because I like to learn that stuff. And then I'm thinking of doing that for my Project Pan as well, of doing some kind of a tracker. So even though you're not, if for those of you not interested in my Project Pan videos or don't have like tons of makeup or skincare, I think that still can be applied to other parts of your life where maybe you have a lot of craft supplies or planner stickers or other hobbies that you may have. Maybe it might be, if I do a tracker for that, I might share that as well. So let me know if you're interested in that. I do have fun with that, but I do also need to get some sleep. I slept terrible last night. Horrible, horrible sleep. I think I've like 4 hours of sleep. I feel like my eyes are bloodshot, but I knew that was going to happen, which is going to get me into my kind of health and wellness update, which I like to dive into usually on these videos. So yesterday was my birthday. So I'm filming this on December 3rd. My birthday is December 2nd. And I wanted, well, let me back up here. Let me back up and share some good news. Actually, I'm going to go even further. We're going to get a little further back. Going back to Project Pan and wanting to finally get to that and finally just clean that bathroom out. I mean, I would clean it, but like take everything out, take inventory. So this is kind of all about the tracking and knowing what you have and finding things that you forgot you had and all of that stuff, right? I was talking to a friend of mine and it's like, what is it? I don't know what it is. I don't want to call it rock bottom, but I feel like, there's something that for months and months it's bothering me. And sometimes, I get distracted and move on to something else, and then it doesn't bother me as much, or I'll just say later, it's not that big of a deal. But then there's some things that start to bug me, and it doesn't stop. It's almost this nagging feeling. And then you finally have enough of myself nagging at myself about getting something done, and then you do it. But I don't know what that is. So with the Project Pan skincare project, Use It Up, it was like that had been bothering me for months. And it's like, okay, when I get back from Japan, I'm going to do it. And, I did. And so with the weight loss and my health, taking better care of myself, I don't even want to call it weight loss, but taking better care of myself. We all kind of, I shouldn't say we all, but many of us put on some COVID weight, right? And then it just never came off for me. And I'm in menopause now. And then you hear all the stuff about, menopause, and it's so hard to lose that tummy weight. And it's just so hard. And, in some cases I felt like I'm just going to throw in the towel because it's just the season of life that I'm in. And, I don't know what finally, what it was. I don't know what finally triggered or got me to the point that in May, I had said I missed walking every day like I used to, during COVID. And, yes, I've got this weight, but I think I could make a couple of changes. I don't want to feel like I'm on a diet. And some of this is me being a little bit of a broken record because I've mentioned this before, but I'm just recapping this in case anyone's new. And I just wanted to just make some healthy habits, change some habits and see what happens. It wasn't so much about the weight loss as it was, I know I should sleep more, like get better sleep, like try to get at least 7 hours of sleep. And I wasn't doing that consistently. I know walking at least 30 minutes a day or something is good for me. I know that skipping breakfast just makes me hungrier for, around 11:30, and then I make bad choices for lunch. Like I know all that, but for some reason, something in Mayish time frame, it was like a trigger. Like, okay, let's just change some of these levers, right, and see what happens. And it wasn't about necessarily losing weight, although that was the hope, right? The hope is if I change all these levers, like there'll be something positive that happens, right? That something to show for it. But in the meantime, I'm thinking at least I'm being healthier. And, it was like lost a pound like in May or something, it was all slow and subtle, which was fine. Because again, I'm not on a diet. I'm just, see what happens if I start making these changes, drinking more water. And little by little, I did start losing weight. And then I'm like, you know what? And this is all my own experience. We all have different body metabolism, genetics. Like there's so many things that come into play. But this all comes back to this data and tracking and closure. What I started doing was tracking what I was eating, and then what was the output the next time? How did I feel? What was my energy level? How much did I weigh? And I started tracking that stuff in May. And it's gotten to the point where, well, one, I've lost 12 pounds since May. I actually lost like 2 pounds in Japan, which blew me away. I'm like, let me get down, as much as I can before my trip, because I know I'm going to want sushi and ramen and all the stuff. And so I ended up losing 2 pounds in Japan because we walked so much. I was walking like 10 to 12 miles a day. So that was a bonus when I got back. I was actually afraid to get on the scale. I'm like, how much did I gain? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So bonus, right? But then the following week, I had to work like 4 days out of 5 in the office. 3 of those days there was workshop where they're feeding you lunch, feeding you breakfast, work dinners, birthday dinners, there was just dinners. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, we're going to go back up. But I wasn't worried because, and I did go up. I did those 2 pounds I lost, I gained them the next week. But then because I've tracked things and I've received that data. I've gotten the data that I know what's working for me. I know when I do XYZ, I'll have a bowel movement and I'll have the sodium flushes out of my system. If I ate, let's say, a lot of restaurant food or food with higher sodium, like, Chinese food or something, I know that then I got to bump my water up and then I see what happens the next day and I feel what happens the next day. And so that has been such a great thing. So when I gained the 2 pounds back up because, I was eating out because of work dinners, and personal dinners, and they're feeding us at work. And I have some choice in what I eat, but also I don't, depending if fajitas is what they're serving for lunch, I guess I'm having fajitas, right? That kind of thing. So I was limited on my choices because I'm working these like 12-hour days where I'm not home. I can't walk. It started raining when I got back from Japan. Like it got super cold outside. It was raining. So I had all of these challenges and then the time change. And now the time change, before I could at least walk maybe in the evening and it wouldn't be so dark. Well, now it's dark. It's already dark. It's just 5 o'clock and it's dark outside. So there's all of these challenges that happened when I got back from Japan. But I didn't worry because I'm like, I know I have options now. And I don't know why I'm telling you this story other than to say I've now lost 12 pounds, and it's just been from pivots and from getting to know what works for me. I know on days where I have Greek yogurt with chia seeds, with protein powder, with berries, what else do I throw in there? That's pretty much it, that it will keep me satiated. I don't make bad choices for lunch. I actually sometimes may not eat lunch or eat a snack or something because I'm not hungry. And then I'll have an earlier dinner because then I will start to get hungry at like 4 or something. And I just make better choices. Or if I have eggs, adding veggies in there and spinach and, whatever veggies I have, make some egg scramble. And that's great. And so that's like the smallest change that I've made. Some days I have pancakes. Some days I have these other things. So I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. I don't feel like I'm on diet. But then on those days, I'm making sure I'm doing other things. And most of it is just intuitive eating. Am I hungry? Yes or no? And then I think about it versus just doing it. And then the biggest thing, and I mentioned this back in September, was watching a YouTuber, and I did mention who it was back then, but on days where I am working like I'm gone all day. I don't have time to go for a walk. I'm at work, or I'm stuck with my work people doing some type of team building or something. And my non-negotiable of the one thing I know that I will not, or that I will do regardless of whether it's raining outside or whatever, was drinking water. And this has been the other healthy habit that I've done that really has worked for me. So anyway, all that to say, I had my birthday yesterday, and I'm like, it's my birthday. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to have cake. I'm going to have some kind of dessert. I'm going to drink alcohol, all the things. And I paid for it last night, because sugar and alcohol and eating a little bit later is what I've learned too from tracking things is I will have hot flashes. But while I've been eating cleaner, I have not had hot flashes. Like, I have not. I've been able to sleep much better. And so that is where, for me, finally getting to a point where I know how things are going to impact me has made a huge difference. And that's all been by logging and keeping track. I don't have to do this forever. I kind of know now what's working for me, what's not. And I knew I was going to pay the price of it. I did, but it's my birthday. So it's my birthday. So I slept, maybe I got like 4 hours of like sleep in there last night, but I will sleep fine tonight. I know I will, because I've been drinking my water. I was good today, eating clean. I had some salmon for lunch. I had I had a smoothie, a green smoothie for breakfast with chia seeds, and chia seeds help the digestion move out and get those beautiful BMs. So anyway, I'm very happy about losing the weight, and maybe it's just something to think about. It knowing thyself, getting that information, tracking it, at least to kind of see what happens. Are there certain things that trigger headaches? Are there certain things that trigger hot flashes? Like, I know what they are now, and I know what I have to do like the next day just to reset, and it's not that big of a deal, and they're just little pivots. And then as far as walking, because now that I like to walk outside, I do have a walking mat, so there are days where I will just walk indoors and it is what it is, or there are days like the day that I pulled out all the makeup and skincare and started my Project Pan, that declutter and all that stuff. I walked more steps inside that day than I do some days that I go for a walk. So cleaning, housework, all of that stuff counts. So I give myself a lot of grace, and it's been slow and steady, but it's had the outcome I was hoping for and wasn't sure I was going to get, but it did. So anyway, another plug for logging things, tracking things, just knowing, getting that data. Speaking of tracking, I got this for my birthday. I bought it for myself. This is an Oura ring. I have wanted this since, I think, the first time I saw one, which was in 2017. I, at the time, was doing my yoga certification, and part of that, we're learning about anatomy and muscles and, all that stuff. It's like 200 hours of learning about your body and yoga. And there was a teacher there. It wasn't my friend who was teaching or getting us certified, but he came in to talk about, he came in to talk to us about quantum physics, actually. And then he mentioned his Oura ring and what he does every morning. He goes outside barefoot on the grass and gets grounded, because there's some benefits of being barefoot on soil and grass, and circadian rhythm. And he was like, I'm all into that kind of stuff. So he was giving us all this, and we're all taking notes. And then he talked about his Oura ring, and it tracks his sleep and all that stuff. So ever since then, I was like, ooh, but back then that Oura ring was brand new. Very few people had it, and very, very expensive, because it was like newer technology at the time. Well, Black Friday comes along, and I have Amazon cards, and I was like, I'm going to get myself an Oura ring. Finally, it's been 8 years since I wanted one. I figured it's time. So yeah, this is tracking, and I love tracking. And I also have a Garmin. I have a Garmin as well, but this is tracking my body readiness, my heartbeat, my sleep. And by readiness, it's looking at a whole number of things that your body's doing to see how how much stress you have, whether you need to rest, or by readiness, if you have a high readiness number, it's like, yeah, go for a walk, pick up those weights, do some weightlifting, that kind of stuff. Supposedly, I've only had it a few days. It can tell you when you're starting to get sick because of your body heat and some other stuff that is going on internally, where supposedly it can start to kind of tell you like, you're probably getting sick, or you're not as ready, right? Your readiness number is low, meaning you could be a little more vulnerable to getting sick because maybe your immune system is a little, by not getting enough sleep and all that other stuff. So yeah, I got an Oura ring. So I like it. It's only day 3, but it's pretty cool because I love tracking stuff. So that's that. Okay, so that was my health and wellness update. Thank you. The next thing I want to make sure that I do not forget to say is a big, huge thank you. We just had Thanksgiving. Now we're at the end of the year in December, and I just want to thank everyone here in the community, everyone here watching. I have pivoted, and started more than before. I mean, I always had other stuff besides wax videos, but for the most part, it was just wax, but kind of started adding this Project Pan thing in there. And then, 4 or 5 videos on Japan and other things. And just want to say thank you so much for kind of endorsing it, watching, for those that watch. And I don't expect everyone to watch. I don't watch every single video that, people I subscribe to make. So totally get that. But I really do appreciate the support that I've gotten from those of you that do seem to watch everything that I put out. I really, really appreciate it. And then today I dropped the video. So by the time you see this was Wednesday. On Wednesday, I dropped the video with my daughter, Danny, and I, where she did her haul from what she bought in Japan. And it's the first time I've had her on the channel. And people are still watching it because I just dropped it today, this morning, and just the number of comments on that video has been just really makes me happy as a mom. You're always like, I hope everyone's nice to my daughter, and you guys seem to have really loved that video, and it means a lot to me. So I just want to say thank you so much for the support and the love. This is such a wonderful community. The whole reason I started YouTube was to find community and to share things that I loved. When I started, it happened to be wax. I was starting on that adventure and haul. And then, now we're 3 years in. I'm 3 years into this channel, and I want some other things that I'm passionate about, because I'm not just Martha that loves wax. I'm Martha that loves makeup, and I'm Martha that loves skincare, and I'm Martha that loves crafting and memory keeping and photography and making spreadsheets and stuff. So there's a lot of aspects of my life that I get really excited about. And so I want to share more and more of myself. And so I want to thank you so much for just your kindness, your support. It really, when I say it means the world to me, it really does. Because when I started, I thought maybe 10 people would watch. Like really, 10 people would watch. And then it was more and more and more. And I can honestly say, and I mean, maybe it'll probably happen at one day, but this community is so wonderful that I haven't had any trolls. I've had some weird people comment, some weird, scary things, but no trolls, no mean, no nastiness. I get an occasional thumbs down or 2 every once in a while, but it's like whatever. But so I just want to say a big thank you for this community. I truly love you guys. And, I love, and I know not everyone's going to comment, and I don't comment on all the videos I watch either. It just depends on what I'm doing, but I try to, but if I've got it in the background or stuff or whatever, I may not, but, for those that comment, I get familiar with your names, and I feel like I'm getting to know you more, and I love the interaction as well. And so it does make me happy when I see someone's name that I see all the time. I feel like I'm getting to know you better, and every week, I'm opening up myself and to you all, and then I kind of feel like it's happening when you leave comments. I'm getting to know you all better as well. So thank you for that. I did want to say that. And Yeah, and I think that's pretty much my update. Let's see. Well, no, wait. There'll be probably another Project Pan video coming out just to show progress. And that might be a little bit more of a vlog style. I was very much inspired by someone named Rebecca, and she has a channel called the After Work channel. I love the way she did it, so I have to give her credit. I'm going to attempt to do that, something similar or inspired by that. And then I will have a Wax School 2026 coming up. I'm still trying to think of my word of the year. This year it was joy. Next year, I'm not sure. I was on my walk yesterday and I was thinking thrive, balance, and I'm trying to think of adventure, play. I'm not sure. And then after I was trying to think of my word, and my word needs to grab me. Like, usually I know what it is, and it's like, that's it. It's like, you just know. It's like, that's the one. That's the one. And then I got an email from my yoga teacher friend, Misha, and she sent a word, and it was ipseity, Ipseity. Hopefully I'm spelling it correctly. I've never heard of this word, ipseity, but it means like living one's true self, something like that. And I was like, I like that, because I feel like that's what I'm starting to do with this channel as well. Like, I'm sharing more of the different aspects of my life and being true to myself. So I don't think that's the word, but I for a second there, I'm like, how funny how the day I'm thinking about what my word for the year, she sends this email, and on there is this big ipseity with the definition of it and all about being true to yourself. And anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, other than still trying to think of the word. Still trying to find the word. I did like joy this year. I didn't have it all the time, and kind of it's usually what happens near the fall. I start to think, wait, why am I warming things that don't bring me joy? Why am I hanging on to stuff that isn't bringing me joy? Why am I, not sharing other kinds of videos when they do bring me joy? So I do like having a word of the year, because it does sometimes trigger like me really thinking about, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So that's that. And then, I'll have an empties video coming up. And then just so far, I am loving my December basket. It's only a few days in, but I feel like every day that I'm warming something, I'm like, oh, I love that. I warmed swirling snowflakes yesterday, and I'm like, I know why I put this in my club. I'm a little sad that I took it out of my club. It's just different. It's got eucalyptus flower and it's got mint, and it's different, and it's a great performer. I used one clamshell for the whole apartment, and it was good. In fact, it was on yesterday, was on all day today. I can still smell it. It's a great performer. So I'm kind of in love with my basket. And again, it was all like, warm what makes you happy, not just because it's old or you feel like, oh, I gotta warm the old stuff first. It's like, start with the things that bring you most joy, those most joyful scents. Start with that, and then fill in the rest. And that's working for me. So I'm very, very happy with that. But anyway, I am just rambling now. As my daughter said, I'm just rambling. And I said, yeah, that's pretty much what you do when you're doing these videos. So thank you so much again for welcoming my daughter and making her feel at home, and all the fun messages and texts that I've gotten that she needs to be on here more. She might. So you might see more of Danny. But anyway, thank you so much. It was a great November. You heard all about it in all my Japan videos. I'm doing good with bonus of losing weight, with that not being like, that was truly bonus. Like, I hope it happened. I really hope so, but it was more about getting healthier. And I don't like taking medication or pills or things like that at all. Like, even for headaches, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to take it because it's medication. I don't want to take it. But I do have a very, very low dose of a blood pressure pill. And I'm like, I might be off of it again because of the weight I've lost. So I'm going to have to check my numbers a little more consistently than I have. But, that's all good stuff. So all that to say is it may not be easy, but I hope you take care of yourselves. We as women, I think especially as women, tend to be always looking out for others, and it's in our nurturing nature and taking care of our kids, our parents, our families, and a lot of times we do not put ourselves first. And so this is just a reminder: take care of yourself. We all want to be here for as long as possible, in good health, and take care of yourself as well. So anyway, I am excited about 2026. It's all the dreaming of what could be. So yeah, I hope you'll stick around. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I really, really appreciate you. And let me know how your month has been. It's been a good month, a bad month. Are you excited about 2026? Do you have plans? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.